What's up, my people out there? It's your girl, FutureDrLen, back with another video. So as promised, this is part 2 of my story in terms of what it took for me to get into the clinical psychology PhD program. So in the first video, I talked about having other strong credentials because, as I mentioned, my undergraduate cumulative GPA wasn't the best, but I had other strong credentials. So I mentioned in the first video that I had an above average GPA that I was able to obtain once I got my master's degree in public health, and I had publications underneath my belt, and I had research experience, robust years of research experience, public health, biomedical, and clinical. And I also, it was ordained by God. Ultimately, it was God's purpose for my life. And so those were the 4 factors that contributed to why I was able to get into a clinical psychology PhD program, one of the most competitive programs to get into in the world. So this is part 2 of my story. So yeah, without further ado, I'll go ahead and get started. So with part 2 of the story. I got a fellowship at the CDC, and the focus of my work was on violence prevention. And as I was matriculating through my fellowship, I learned about ACEs, Adverse Childhood Experiences. Had never heard of that prior to coming on board as a fellow with the CDC. And, thought to myself, I would love to do that kind of work. So I started doing everything in my power to work with children and families, to learn more about development. And because some of you may know that ACEs can have a negative impact depending upon the number of ACEs that you experience on the development of the brain and on your health, your mental and physical health in general. So I became interested in that kind of work and started doing everything in my power to learn more about that kind of work and to work with children and families. So I started doing just that. I volunteered with an organization that supported children and families that were experiencing homelessness. I traveled to Kenya, East Africa, to work in the child life room, where I learned how to provide psychosocial support to children and families experiencing hospitalization and injury and illness. And that was life-changing, going to Kenya, doing that practicum. It was just an awesome experience. If you ever get the opportunity to go to Africa, especially if you look like me, I recommend going. It'll change your life, seriously. And I traveled to Haiti and worked with an organization there where I provided emotional support to children that were displaced. And so I just kept doing things like that and loved working with children and families. And, it served a purpose because once I start my program, I'll be working with children and families. So there you go. Also, what else? I had a lot of support while I was at the CDC, and a lot of my colleagues at the CDC, they have their doctorates. And so because they had gone down that path before, and once I mentioned to them that I was interested in furthering my education, getting my doctorate, they were so supportive, and I was so appreciative of the support because as a first generation college student, I didn't know anything about navigating through that space in terms of what it takes to apply to a clinical psychology PhD program or any PhD program. So they provided me with a lot of support, a lot of guidance in that area. Like they were like, "This is what you do," and so I took their advice, and some of my colleagues, they looked over my personal statement and provided me with feedback, and some of my mentors at the CDC wrote me a letter of recommendation as well. And I also had strong letters of recommendation from previous professors as well at both Spelman and Emory. So, yeah, this is part 2 of my story. I don't want the video to be too long. Because, I'm just getting started. So my videos don't have like all the bells and whistles yet. It's just me talking with my, some people say it's like kind of squeaky, but it's my voice and I love it, and this is me. So, yeah, I think, that's it. That's all I have. Yep, that's part 2 of the story. And then I applied 3 times to clinical psychology PhD programs. And I'll do another video about the application process, but I just wanted to tell my story, and I hope it inspires people. Like, please never, ever, ever give up on your dreams, goals, purpose, whatever the case may be. Please don't give up, because if I had given up, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And leave a comment in the comment section if you have any questions, concerns, you just want to chat. Yeah, I'm available. So, all right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Peace.